I think that the access to enhanced skills programs at Queen's is one of the drawing cards and has traditionally been one of the strengths of our program. We've always had a relative to the size of our program, a relatively large number of third-year positions. And I think the history behind that, it goes right to the beginning of the program in the 1960s, was so that we could prepare and train residents to do the kind of comprehensive practice that Bob Webster referred to. When I listen to these presentations, I'm thinking to myself, I trained in Toronto, and I think, geez, I want to go back and do this again, but I'd love to come to this kind of a program. And I think having access to some of the programs I'm going to briefly describe will certainly help prepare you to provide that kind of really comprehensive care, or in fact, perhaps a more focused type of practice care. We've always seen these as enhanced skills, not standalone programs separate from the family medicine core program, but very much integrated both administratively and programmatically with your core training, so that so I do spend a lot of time with first-year residents talking about their interest, or perhaps their potential interest in doing a third-year program, and sort of planning the first 2 years as part of that sort of structure. And that's the way we are accredited by the college, that they look at this as, do we as a program provide and organize these enhanced skills programs really as in an integrated way, or are they sort of seen as standalones where they're run by a specialty Royal College people and so on? No, that's not the case here. In fact, as you've heard, we received full accreditation status for all of our enhanced skills programs in October. Each program has its own program coordinator. I'm the overall director and chair of the residency program committee, but we have a really good group of coordinators who are very cooperative, very enthusiastic, and that run the separate programs. Flexibility, again, I won't beat that word to death anymore, but again, we make many of our programs, as I'll describe, the more self-designed ones under the guidance of academic advisors or myself or others. And we currently have 19 positions available, including, and then on top of that, we have an extra 3 positions funded through the Moods Factory program budget, which have a return of service provision attached to them. Why do residents choose to do this? Well, for many different reasons. I've put up a few that came out of recent conversations. Some are looking for some career diversity, perhaps want to become teachers in the future, preceptors, and want to have perhaps a bit more expertise to bring to that position. Other people are looking at and already have identified a community where they're going to be practicing, and they know that they might be looked to provide perhaps a higher level of care in a focused area, maybe care of the elderly, maybe palliative care, and that might be the primary driving force for their interest. I'm going to talk briefly about our currently active programs. These are divided into Category 1 programs, which have more structure to them when they're accredited by the college, and where they have perhaps a more defined curriculum approach, with some option for elective time, but where there is more of a sort of a scripted approach to it. The Care of the Elderly is one of our older ones, which we designed back in the early 1990s. It was one of the first in Canada. The preceptors and the current and past coordinator, and many of your teachers are all interestingly graduates of this program, who are either doing primarily care of the elderly in either a community or an institutional base, involved in undergraduate teaching, or that they're out in smaller communities where they act almost as a consultant to their colleagues. The second Category 1 program, which is a joint program, sort of a hybrid between the two colleges in palliative medicine, which is based in a variety of settings, both in the community and with the inpatient consultation team, with a number of different elective opportunities. This is a very strong program. It's an excellent one. It's one of the top ranked ones in Canada for sure. It has a good academic base to it with opportunities for research, and certainly it's a very much a growing field in terms of community needs for individuals with more expertise, more knowledge, and a higher comfort level of looking after palliative care patients. I practice anesthesia. I think Queen's has the strongest program in Canada. That isn't just my opinion. I think many objective observers who've evaluated our program have come away with that impression. This has been designed from the beginning by family practice anesthetists, including our current department head, Dr. Brown, and it continues to be coordinated and run and primarily taught by family physician anesthetists, so you have an excellent opportunity to work and be trained by role models. And you're not treated as sort of a second-class citizen by the Royal College Anesthesia program here. You're very much valued, and you're really looked after in the sense of taking someone and knowing that in 1 year we have to do an awful lot. This is a high-pressure program with some very distinct endpoints that have to be met. And finally, our largest of our third-year programs, which is our emergency medicine program, which we have 8 of our Ministry of Health funded positions dedicated to that every year because of its popularity. It's very competitive. We actually have 10 people coming into it next year, and 8 of them are Queen's residents, including our program chief, our Kingston site chief, and our Kingston site senior, who I think you'll either have met last night or you'll meet today during the panel or this afternoon. This is a very strong, again, integrated program with the Royal College program, and very much our family medicine program, and not handed over as it is in, I would say, a very large number of the other emerge programs in Canada, are entirely reliant upon the good graces of the Royal College emerge program, and often are run from their offices and so on. This is very much owned by us, and the curriculum has been designed accordingly. In the Category 2 programs, these are more loosely defined. We do have to meet educational standards and training standards, so they are accredited. We currently have, I think, about 4 active programs and 1 inactive. We're looking to expand and develop new ones in the areas perhaps of military and veterans health, taking advantage of our proximity to the military base here. Our women's health program, again, has been very well established back into the early 90s. Coordinator Dr. Susan Phillips is without a doubt a national, if not an international leader in the field of women's health, and runs and coordinates a women's health seminar series for interested residents during the core 2 years. And our third-year resident in this program, or residents, if we have more than one, take an active part as teachers and collaborators within that seminar series, as well as pretty well designing or shaping what that year looks like in discussion with Dr. Phillips. We're very proud of this program. It's unique. It's one of the only such programs on the continent. It's nationally recognized, and I think with current discussions and some provincial funding and initiatives around the primary care of citizens with developmental disabilities, the focus is becoming very much, this is all really within the last few weeks or few months, very much on Kingston and the Queen's Developmental Disabilities Program, and the body of expertise that we have in this city, which is, I guess, historical, and our previous relationship with the Rideau Regional Center facility, which is now closed up the road in Swiss Falls. But we very much value this third-year program, and we're in fact looking at building upon this in terms of making Kingston really a national center of excellence in the study and in the care and the research around the field of developmental disabilities. I coordinate the Global Health Program, which we developed last year in response to a lot of interest and a lot of need over the course of yesterday, and through email correspondence. I'm aware that there really are a lot of you here who are interested in global health opportunities. As I said earlier, we focus here at Queen's on the role of the physician as advocate. So this isn't international health. You can certainly achieve a lot of global health objectives right right here at home. And we shouldn't lose sight of that fact that we have a lot of work to do in terms of the care of under-resourced people, of marginalized populations, without having to leave Canada. Having said that, we do offer international experiences which we've evaluated and which we find to be more than just medical tourism, and that will help you meet learning objectives. And this could be in the area of doing humanitarian relief work or getting into health policy and development work, which I've been doing for the last 15, 16 years in countries such as Afghanistan and other international experiences. Finally, the Rural Skills Program, we call it that. It's basically a self-designed either partial year or full year where you perhaps have identified an area of interest or perhaps of need where you think you need a greater level of skill to meet the needs of a particular community or to meet your own perhaps focused area of practice and interest. This coming year we will have nine residents taking up the equivalent of about 5 or 6 full-time positions doing either partial years or full years of rural skills, so that they will come up with the comprehensive scope, the versatility, and the skill level to do a number of those things that Bob Webster referred to rather casually, I thought, as if everybody in the world practices like that. That's not the case. What he was describing, I think, and what others have described, those are the kinds of preceptors you're going to be working with when you come to Queen's. And finally, actually inactive program at the moment, which has been active in the past, is our Aboriginal Health Program, which is based around nationally designed objectives. We take advantage of our long-standing relationship with Moose Factory in the north, as well as a number of other experiences in inner city and urban settings. So keep this in mind when you're looking at your CaRMS decisions, that this is, I think, a drawing card, a real strength of the Queen's program that has been here for many years. We've got a long experience in not just designing these programs, but coordinating them, and most importantly, I think, tailor-making them and individually fitting them to the needs of our core residents.